Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sarisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunaraitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Namaskaram, everyone. Welcome to Hinduism Now Global Press Live.
Namaskaram.
And Namaskaram Ji, thank you for joining us today. And welcome everyone to our next episode of Hindus talking about Hindumisia. And we have Vishwanath Ji, Vishwanathaya joining us today. And Aya, if you can just briefly introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, please.
Okay. Sri Nithya Jnanatmananda Ji, Namaskar. And, Dinesh in the call. Hello. Okay. So, to introduce myself to people such as you is very difficult and challenging, right? Because no introduction doesn't mean anything except the name, and right. But just for the sake of it, I'll introduce. I'm Dr. Vishwanath Kokonda. I am a digipreneur, author, and a qualified life coach. That's in brief, in this life, what I am. Yeah, I'm based in London now. I was born in India, and through my profession, I had been traveling, out of India, and then in 2000, kind of 18, 19, I moved for long term to UK, right? So I'm based in UK now. That's something about in me in brief. Yeah.
Great. And that's great. Aya, you said your doctor, what you had studied extensively. What area is that?
Yeah, it's marketing. So I hold a PhD in marketing. So the point is, I missed getting my admission in medicine, and then I wanted to get the doctorate degree, and then with lot of dislike, I pursued a PhD in marketing, but I landed up loving that work, and that journey has helped me kind of become a better person. Yeah.
Wow. Great. So can you share, what is your current life or relationship with regard with Hinduism? How is that part of your life right now?
Yeah. I should say I'm kind of deeply connected with the the concept of Hinduism. Okay, and it reflects in my thoughts, in my words, in my actions, and pretty much in my family. Pretty much, right? I mean, probably, that's how I attempted to sum up how I connect with Hinduism. I mean, so manasa, vacha, karmana, right? I resonate with the philosophy of Hinduism, which I have been experiencing since my childhood in the family and in India, and outside India in a different way. And as I'm growing with my readings and then observations and some experiments as well, yeah, I'm still on my journey, right? I'm not I do not have many conclusions. I'm on my journey, Sri. Yeah.
Great. And okay, super. So are you married? Do you have children or anything? Or
Yes, I'm married. I have 2 children. Yeah.
Mm.
So, you know, I know it's a love marriage actually. My marriage is a love marriage. I mean, just to add, some more things, and then there is an element of it. And Hinduism is a caste, and she belongs to different caste, and you know, in India, marrying outside the caste also sometimes is an issue, in some places. And I, incidentally, my family, neither her family, not did not object, right? And they performed the marriage, and we are happily married since 19 years. And then I have two children, one daughter, one son. Daughter is studying in, in college, and then boy is going to school. Yeah.
So your daughter is in college right now?
Yeah, I should say year 12. It's year 12. Yeah.
Okay, great. And okay, great. So you said you moved to UK around 2018, 2019?
Yeah.
Okay. And good. So you were in India before that?
Yeah.
Whereabouts, can you tell us? Yeah. So let's, is there any specific, parts of Hinduism or temples or people that you follow now or have traditionally like been involved with, or?
Not specifically any particular line, but uh, I have been bred in an environment where we were exposed to almost every type of practice which is available in Hinduism, and we were taken there. So we were actually more exposed than typical Hindu to most of the practices which are prevalent. There are lots of practices, right? I mean, so and that's continuing. I do japa, I do jhana, right? I go to satsang, right? And then I go to all the temples where there are different types of things. So pretty much I'm driven by the essence of the Vedas, connect with the, Brahmand sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. And so in UK, have you found like as there's specific places there that you go to or you prefer to go to or that you've looked for?
Yeah. See, I go to temples typically. Okay. And incidentally, there is one temple just near my home. I go to daily, actually. I go daily. It's only 10 minutes walk. And on festival days, on important days, I definitely go. Okay. And also because I am spiritual, I was also pursuing spirituality, right? So I kind of I'm open to read literature of other languages as well, to understand, and to draw the commonalities between Hinduism and other religions. I have been doing that. And often I interact, it could be my colleagues, it could be, sometimes in meetups, right? And then, some conversations come up, and then, I involve in such conversations. And there is large, in UK, there is large Indian diaspora, right? I attend all those forums and those meetups. Yeah. And so there are a few exclusive Hindu, organizations. I go there, and often we have conversations as to what we all could do to actually, kind of spark some sleeping Hindus. And some Hindus who do not have clarity about, what they are in and what they are actually not in. So this is pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Why do you feel or understand that you're involved in that kind of discussion?
Sri, as told, I'm always, I'm a coach. I told you, okay. I attended sessions by the best in the world, by not just when people around, I traveled across, I attended sessions by the best in the world, and then I have read, because I want to be the best, because I want to make my life worthwhile. We never know about next life. We never know about tomorrow. So I was always on that value creation, right? Add value to self, add value to family, add value to people around, and that too without selfishness. Yes, when I was a child, I was selfish for maybe some name or some reward. But as I'm growing, that pretty much I should say, I should admit, and I should confess that vanished, because it doesn't mean anything. Having a name or some people recognizing me or somewhat rewarding me doesn't mean anything. As I'm growing, I understood that. So now, why I should involve in these things is a question which I'm not frankly sure. But the good thing is, when I'm involving, I involve 100%. Because if I wait for conclusion, I don't know whether I'll get any conclusion, or I'll go away from this earth by leaving my body. I'm not sure. So what I thought, what I'm doing is good. Okay, what I'm doing is worthwhile. So let me do it. Let the conclusion come. The manthan is going on. The discussion is going on, whether I'm doing it right or wrong, or not wrong, but should I? Because if it is destiny, the whole world, when you see this world in the form of manifestation is on its grand flow, right? I'm nobody to disturb it, right? Everybody will have their own destiny and their own path. I did not go and do anything is one way of thinking, right? Other way of thinking is no. I have my role. I should do my bit, right? Between these things, I lean towards let me do my bit while accepting the larger context of manifestation. Yeah.
Wow, great. Then, okay, so that is a sort of some of the perspective and space of yourself that you shared. So what is your understanding of where that comes from? How did that become part of you? How did it become important for you? Like, do you also visit like churches, mosques, or other religious groups also, or?
See, there was a time, I could not visit any mosque because the restrictions to visit mosques, right? But I wanted to visit, but because of restrictions, I never visited. But I visited some churches on Christmas Day. I went to churches, and I don't know their practices and what they do, but I went and sat there, and I just tried to connect with that Supreme by singing in their prayer. I don't know, I don't understand the carol, I don't understand the lyrics in what they sing, but I sit for 10-15 minutes, I come out. Like that, I have been to churches a couple of times.
Okay, great. And okay, good. And then you're saying like you're generally going every day to a specific Hindu temple nearby, or?
Yeah, because frankly, it's nearby, and so I go daily. I go daily, and I do some chanting there in the temple premises, and then it became a habit. And now without going to temple, I feel a bit as if I miss something important thing.
Mhm. Great. Can you tell us about the temple? What is it like?
It's a Ganesha temple. Okay, and it's actually Tamilians. Tamil people have built that. Okay, so you will actually feel as if you're in Tamil Nadu when you go to the temple. Tamil Nadu in India.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you feel the Tamil vibe and Tamil feel there, and the temple is. I mean, we see very highly decorative temples and posh temples. You see, and spiritually, we feel good. When we go to some places, it's not about the decoration. It's not about the architecture. We feel good. So that place, makes me feel like that. So I go there, I do my pranams, and I sit, I chant, and then I come back.
Hmm. Is there a specific time you normally go there?
I go in the evening between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. usually. And the reason is one more same thing which I told Sri. Now I don't like timelines. And because of the timelines, I resigned my corporate job.
Okay.
I was in a corporate job. It's all timeline because I'm a free flow soul. So I want to do things in the way I want. If I don't feel like working, I don't work. If I like to work, I work all night. I don't sleep all night several days in a month. Couple of days I don't sleep all night. Because when I like, I do. So morning, if I go to temple, I have office works to do. So evening, I go because there is nothing else to do. So I go with free mind.
Great. Good. Can you take us back to, can you tell us about what your earliest life was like, where you were born, and can you tell us about that?
Sure. I was born in a town in South India, in Telangana state. So I was born in a above middle class family and with educated background. The family is educated. So and my father is a spiritually inclined personality, and my mother comes from proper religious background. Okay, so we have, by the time I was 15 years, Sri, probably I've heard at least 8,000 hours of spiritual lectures by then. As children, we were taken to Rishikesh, right? To, headquarters of Divine Life Society, to headquarters of Brahma Kumari World Spiritual University, Mount Abu, right? And Swamijis and Gurus used to speak hours together. So by the time I was 15 and my sister was 13 and my brother was 10, I once calculated we had 8,000 hours of spiritual classes. So that went into my subconscious and that's playing within me. Okay. So, and after during my graduation 18 to 21, I came out of religion. I did not come out fully, but I was trying to understand spirituality. So I read books of Jiddu Krishnamurti, and then Sri Aurobindo of Aurobindo Ashram, Pondicherry, and then Acharya Rajneesh. So those books from those three people were there almost for 10 months with me. So I read a lot of content. Then I thought, I was trying to understand spirituality is the way to go forward, right? Not religion. And then I got a dream one day when I was thinking, it's a long dream, I'll cut it short. So the dream made me understand religion is the basis of spirituality. Without religion, there is no spirituality. For example, the flavor of the smell we get out of a flower is because of the flower. The flower is the reason, and the smell aroma is the reason because is the outcome of the flower. In the same way, if religion is there, then spirituality is there. Without religion, there is no spirituality. Okay. And then I was not ritualistic person. I was not ritualistic, right? So I just go and stand and see and come. But slowly, I got ritualistic also now. I have gone back to my school days mindset now because I left myself free, right? And I cannot explain the deeper intent behind rituals, but I understood to some extent. Now, if I try to interpret and tell, it might sound very basic, but for me, I'm justified, and that's why I'm moving ahead. Yeah.
Okay, great. Super. And we'll definitely come back to those things. You mentioned there was books from three people. I believe you mentioned Osho, Sri Aurobindo, and who is the third one?
Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Ah, right. Okay. Great. Okay, great. Can you take us back? Okay, what is your earliest memories? What is your earliest memories? Earliest memory?
Maybe, sixth, maybe I was around my year 6, year 7. Yeah.
Great. And what do you remember about that time? The earliest memory.
I remember, but nothing specific is coming to my mind. But if I have to tell something, I wanted to be the best in the class. I remember that. I wanted to be best in the class, like first in the class. And I wanted people to appreciate me. That those glimpses are there in my head.
Right. Do you have any idea why that was the case for you?
I mean, Sri, in the process of this life journey, we read a lot, we observe a lot, and I even pursued MSc psychology. Now I have that qualification, right? I read a lot, and when you read a lot, sometimes they actually cover up a lot of things. Frankly, I mean, I do not know why I had such thoughts then. But I'll tell you about, if you permit me, I'll tell you about the dream. Should I tell you about the dream?
Yeah. Yes, anything. Yes, please. Yeah.
So, I was very, at one point of time, before getting into those books by Jiddu Krishnamurti and Aurobindo and Osho, for 1 year, I was deeply spiritual, deeply religious. I used to wake up at Brahma Muhurtam, 3:30 in the morning, take cold water bath, right? And then do my chanting and do meditation. And then while walking in the streets of bus, I used to chant, on my lips. And some people even thought, when they see me chanting, some people thought I'm mad. Why he's, blabbering? So, but I was conscious about my things. Okay. And then I went to one ISKCON session where that
What age is this? What age is this?
it was 18.
Okay.
So that guy told me, if you have to understand Krishna, you should have strong nerves. You should have strong nerves. People with weak nerves can't understand Krishna, can't digest Krishna. So in this world, only people with strong nerves can understand Krishna and pursue Krishna, he told me. Then I came out. So now I was thinking, people who are pursuing Shiva, people are pursuing Lakshmi, people are pursuing Hanuman, are they not having strong nerves was the question. It was a immature question in my mind then. And then I used to go to Ayappa temple, you know Ayappa?
Yes, yeah.
So I did Ayappa Diksha, all that 60-kilometer walking with Irumudi on my head. I did all that.
Shabrimala, yeah.
I did Sharimala. I did that 62-kilometer walk.
I also did once, yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
the dream was, I fell in water and I was about to die. Right? And then I was thinking, yes, I am dying now. Should I pray Krishna or should I pray Shiva? That was the question at the moment of my death. So I understood, I felt, I woke up. Then I said, go to hell with Hinduism. It has created so much confusion. I am dying. Now I am not knowing whom to pray because I want to go to Vaikunta. I want to go to heaven. Ultimately, in the confusion, I did not pray anybody. That's the reason why I had to kind of pursue spirituality. Okay. Then I came back to Hinduism again. And I was never out of Hinduism. I was a bit away. Right. Now, you know, I feel I understand the intent. Right. I understand the essence of it rather than, you know, the steps, rather than what we see. Right. And why those things have come, for what purpose they have come. And, you know, right. Yeah, that's where I am, Sri. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, you mentioned that you had from that experience and related to that experience, you had come to understand more that you had to focus on spirituality.
Yeah, that was the reason. That was the break point. That was the break point. And then I moved to spirituality. And then, you know, after moving, till I moved to spirituality, I was a very disciplined person, right? And after touching spirituality, I became a little indisciplined. When I say indisciplined, I never used to even drink tea outside my home. So I started drinking tea, right? I started occasional partying, alcohol, occasional. Because spirituality doesn't talk about discipline. Okay, so I got, people used to wonder at me, looking at me. What, you never used to drink tea, now you are drinking alcohol, right? And then I was never alcoholic, right? I was a social, you know, guy, you know, partying now and then. And then when everybody used to wake up on a festival and go to temple, I used to kind of wake up and read or watch something on TV. Because going to temple or following some rituals have lost significance at that point of time. But I was in touch, right? I never lost myself completely. But after that, I don't know, I gave time to my mind, and mind once again got into that mode now. Because I was constantly reading, Sri. I was reading Now also I attend a lot of lectures from India on webinars. I ensure I attend. I ensure my family also attends. My family also attends. My children are very young. So what my father and mother have planted me at the young age, and I'm the outcome now. So I'm trying to do the same thing for them. Yeah.
Great. Then I have around you grew up, your earliest memories, your earliest years. What was the home like? You had siblings.
Yes.
What was your home life setup like?
I had a grandmother, I had a mother, father, I had two siblings, and we had an old, you know, big, big home with large trees. And people used to say that I live in ashram. My home was like that.
And that's in Telangana, you said?
Yeah, Telangana. Yeah.
Then did you live in that one place your whole time in India?
Yeah. Till I left, till my after my post graduation, I worked for a couple of years in the same place. Then I left.
So you stayed in the same house?
Same house for almost 27 years. I stayed in same house.
Okay, great. Awesome. Can you tell us about what your early relationship with your siblings growing up in that house, or your parents? Was it like was the Hinduism was practiced in, oh, you said yes, it was. Can you tell us maybe something about your parents or your grandparents?
Yeah. My father's father was an engineer then, he was educated during the British era, right? And he was a government employee then. He had a bike. Then, it was a big luxury. He had a four-wheeler. And then I heard through my father, I have never seen him. I heard through my father that he was Arya Samaj follower. I heard through him. And Arya Samaj, I don't know much, but I understood that they pray the Panchabhutas, right? They don't pray idols, actually. Okay. I understood that he followed Arya Samaj, but my grandmother used to be a regular Hindu lady, my grandmother. And my grandfather never opposed all the pujas, all the vratas, all the practices at home, never opposed. Okay, and my father is a medical doctor, right? He's 84, 85 now in India. He's fine and healthy. So he's a medical doctor, and then his mindset is he has actually taken us to all the spiritual organizations in India. The kind of exposure I have, frankly, very little people will have with spiritual organizations. Okay. And he doesn't talk much about spirituality, but in essence, he is spiritual. I mean, religious, right? So when you're talking about manasa, vasha, karmana, right? Be truthful, be genuine, be authentic, and live with every second with sakshi bhava. Live in the second with just sakshi bhava. Don't, live in the future. Don't live in the past. All what Hinduism talks, he is an example of it. But the thing is, he's not conscious about it. He's not conscious. He's like a child, right? So he doesn't plan. He doesn't, do a lot of things. And he's happy soul, very, very happy. He's 84, 85, is happy, healthy, doing well. So now that exposure to all three of myself and my brother and my sister, we got imbibed. And I forgot telling you one important thing. I had my father's brother. It's very important. You might have never heard about such a thing. my father's brother was there. He was having polio. He was having a polio, right? And he became blind. And we had a blind person at home for nearly 25 years. And we managed that blind person. Blind person needs to be taken to bathroom. Blind person needs to be kept food on time, given tea. We cannot leave him and go. Either one of us was always there. So either my grandmother, after her, my mother, father, after them, me and my wife, we all have taken care of a blind man. He passed away some years back. And then the values which my parents have passed to three of us, myself and my brother and my sister, we have great sync. We have great sync actually. We don't have any prejudices and we complement one another to a great extent, which I don't see in every family, unfortunately. Right? There are people, but I think that those deeper values have crept within us and they're keeping us intact is what I think so. Yeah.
Mm. Great. Your what was your early relationship or interactions with like with your siblings?
Yeah, it was as children, it was always fun, right? And then we grew up, right? My brother went to United States, and then I was globetrotting, and then yeah, we shared a great rapport. I mean, it was, I should say, of highest quality. I should say, because Sri, I am reasonably exposed to this world. I know I have seen a lot good and bad, right? I'm exposed. So from that context, I say, when I say good and bad, I have, friends, not bad people, but very indisciplined people also, right? So I have been with them, they drink till night to 2, 3 o'clock, and they always think about deceiving people and, making big disturbances. I know them personally, right? And I know how they think, I know how they network, I know how they plan, and then how they operate, I know all that because incidentally I was with them. Yeah. And also I should tell you one more thing, if you permit me.
Yeah.
So to understand people, I pursued MSc psychology, when as a externally, right? And I finished it. Then my quest did not finish. I started pursuing astrology. I went to many astrologists asking to interpret the chart. Each one was telling something different. I thought I should learn it. I went and I learned astrology also. So I'm Jyotisha Pravina, right? So I prepare chart without looking at Panchang. Now I lost the practice and I can understand the astrologist language. What they speak, I can understand. The reason was to understand people. Why people are like this? Why people are different? And to forecast what they do, I had to pursue psychology and astrology, but it did not help me except becoming knowledgeable.
Great. So okay. When did you feel like that so you're just saying that you were studying these things to understand what? Only other people, yourself, or what?
Yeah, myself and the humanity. Right? See, we tell somebody 100 times, they don't listen. Why? Is it because of the genes? Is it because of the brought up? Is it because of their karma? I want to understand. Now, the reason is, if they don't listen, there's no point talking to them and there's no point telling them. Isn't it? So, I mean, yeah, but I'm glad that I pursued. I have the knowledge is there in my neurons now. How much it helped me, I don't know. How much it helped this world, I don't know. But at least I have a satisfaction that yes, I know. Yeah. If a psychologist speaks, I understand. If an astrologist speaks, I understand. Okay, fine, good.
Okay, great. And your father was a engineer. Your
No,
mother was
my grandfather was an engineer.
right.
My father was a medical doctor.
Yeah, great. And what about your mother?
She's a housewife and she's a she's deeply spiritual. So I should not just because of my mother, not just because she's my mother. If I see her as a soul, she's very unique and very advanced. And I should say my home is stable because she was the anchorer. She anchored the home well.
And so she was following or conducting any kind of Hindu rituals, pujas, anything like that? Or
Yeah, pujas, vratas were regular. And then, have you heard of this Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
So they have the headquarters based in Mount Abu, Rajasthan, India. So though my mother, father were involved in religious practices and going to Rishikesh and staying there in ashrams in Divine Life Society and all, they used to go to Brahma Kumari World Spiritual University regularly because they have classes every day. They have a class. So these people used to go there regularly, and when people attend some classes regularly, the reiterations will happen again and again. Reiterations. So reiterations will actually meddle with the behavior and actions. So that's what happened to them. They are different from others because they attend classes regularly.
Okay, and the classes often were with Brahma Kumari?
Yeah, most of them. But as told, we, sorry, when we were very young, several Swamijis from Rishikesh, they performed bhajans in our home. Bhajan, satsang, all that used to happen. So we had a track of everything. But Brahmakumari thread was continuous because of the regular classes they had. They had a center every morning and evening class. So it was 2-3 kilometers away from home, and for their elderly people. So going to some place every day is as an activity. Going there, sitting, and they make us do meditation, Raja Yoga, and then they make us talk. They do some class, and then people meet and greet. So there are other things also which are happening beyond the class. So that was a good engagement actually for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you know what was your mother's upbringing like?
Yeah, typical Hindu, okay, and middle class, right? Not very religious, but religious, not very religious. And my mother's father, my grandfather, I heard that he used to take my mother a lot to all the bhajans when she was very young. Bhajans, satsangs, and that's why she has that attraction for them.
Okay, great. And so was your mother performing like daily puja? Like
yeah. Daily puja, daily meditation, and she sings spiritual songs, devotional songs.
And what about your father? Was he doing any practice, or?
He doesn't specifically do any sadhana or practice. He reads a lot and he attends classes, that's all. And I understood that is going well with him. Without sadhana, what should happen, it's happening within him. That's what I felt about him.
Hmm. So your siblings were older than you, younger than you?
Younger. I was eldest, and those two were younger than me.
Hmm. So what was your, in your early childhood life, what was your routines like? I guess you're going to school, and you were saying like you had traveled a lot and visited a lot of, and it was often like spiritual oriented, right?
You name a spiritual place, we have been there.
Wow.
Adi Shankaracharya, Math, Sringeri, right, and Kashi, Hardwar, Varanasi. My parents went to Kedarnath, Badrinath, Amarnath, all done. Tirupati, and all the temples in Tamil Nadu, right? And we used to have bhajans at home, and we perform meditations at 3:30 in the morning, chanting, right? So we were not regular, we were intermittent, myself especially, but I'm in touch. Because when I was having my spiritual journey with the Hindu foundation, right, I surrendered myself to the Supreme, telling, right, I surrendered to you. I'm in sync with you. So when I'm sync with him, I did not feel the necessity of doing puja regularly. Long back, it became an excuse to me. Yeah, I'm already connected. Fine, that's all. I'm already connected. Fine. But later, as I was growing, I understand the necessity of chanting, right, and then puja, and then the rituals. Yeah.
Great. So who's the driving force behind taking you to all these places and taking your family to all these different spiritual locations or Hindu locations?
I do not know the answer. I do not know the answer. See, it could be the Lord, right? The God, Mahadev. Right? One. Second, it could be destiny. Right? And third thing could be, if it is not God, if it is not Mahadev, or if it is not destiny, then the genetic combination which I have within me, right, is making me live my life in this way. So I was telling, right, now I'm while I'm journeying, I didn't I know whether I don't know whether I'll be able to come to any conclusion or not in my life. But to kind of follow what I have seen, what I have observed, what I have learned, what I have lived with, I was seeing whether I am enjoying that. I was seeing whether I am in sync with it, naturally, intrinsically, whether there is sync. It is there. That's why I'm continuing. And is it giving me joy? Is it giving me that pleasure? Is it giving me that good feel which I can't explain? Yes. When after that Ayappa Diksha, I did it for 50 or 58 days. Then I did that long walk. And when I was going to the 18 steps, right? When I had seen that Ayappa, okay, believe me, tears rolled from my eyes. It was, I had that darshan in Brahma Muhurta, incidentally in the dark. All night I was walking in the huge lines, long lines, and then after the darshan, I sat and thought, why tears came to my eyes? For what reason? Okay. And also on and off Sri when I'm in need of something, I observe that some help comes to me like that. I cannot tell now in this call, right? From unusual corners, I get help. From unexpectable sources, I get a help, which is helping me tread. There is no logic actually to interpret how this help has come to me. So I think, is the God helping me because I'm in some kind of trouble, I'm in some kind of inconvenience? And for example, my wife, she 100% believes it's God only. And because I have stupid logic in my head, I know it's only God. But how that is operating, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. But even 2-3 months back, I had a kind of miracle. I cannot tell on this call, but we go to temple, we are in deep practices, and we do a lot of things on these lines. So, and as a life coach, last year I probably touched 20,000 people in India, all at free of cost. I did not charge money. So I added value to them, right? By spending my time. I don't know, divine grace somehow is kind of protecting me. It did not overwhelm me, but it is keeping me going. Yeah.
And great. And then when you're growing up with your siblings also, so did you have the same appreciation early in your life, like for traveling these places, or was there other kind of activities that you preferred or that you were doing?
I did not get your question right. I missed something in your question.
Yeah. So I'm just curious about, like, when you were young and you were traveling to all these different, like, chaitras or whatever that was, did you have an appreciation also at that time? Because a lot of times, younger people.
No. The appreciation was not that much there then. But whatever appreciation I had was without logic, and it was pure. I had appreciation, not of this quality now, with this wisdom, with this maturity. It was different appreciation with a different maturity, but it was pure. Like I used to feel Lord Shiva is looking at me. Now I have a doubt. Is Lord Shiva looking at me or not? Oh, no, looking. No, not looking. You understand? So logic meddles with the psychology. And the problem with this world is logic. And people are exercising logic too deeply. So I understand. So all the religion, all the spiritual practices, purpose is to actually subdue the logic and keep the logic only to the required necessity. Right? Yeah.
Right. Then growing up, what other sort of activities were you doing also in your early years?
Yeah, nothing much. I got into, extreme socializing with friends, and then, I told, right, I used to party with friends, and then I should confess very frankly, that I used to smoke, normal smoking. Now I don't smoke, but I used to feel that's great fun. Alcohol and then smoke. Wow, what the fun. That's the feel I used to have. And but when thinking layers change with the kind of components in the body, mind operates in a different way, and what seems false will start seeming true, right? Once that kick is on, you get to the originality, right? So yeah, I mean, but that juncture has exposed me to wide variety of people. Sri, now to survive in this world, right? One way is to go within, deep, right? Or go all out, outside. That's all. There is nothing in between. So I should say I wanted to do well in my life. I mean, wealth wise and name wise, and I could see varieties of people which most people can't think of. The only thing I'm being very frank, I could see them, right? I never involved with them, I never engaged with them, and they respect me for what I am. They are at their place, I am at my place. But I know that mindset. I can recognize who they are. So now, as a coach, people come and ask me questions. So you're asking me questions, right? Now I ask questions which people don't expect to ask me. And I get to the point. See, people come to me telling that they have a relationship problem, husband and wife. People come to me telling that their son or daughter doesn't listen to them. Right? Now, because of all the exposure which I have, I get to the point. Not every time, but good number of times. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you're saying like you've noticed an ability to understand something more about people than like on a deeper level? That
I should say, yeah. I should say yes.
And okay, great. So there's a few things you mentioned also, like so what was the transition like from your childhood? Like you mentioned a few things, like at the age of 18, you were, sort of changing, your interests, and you had gone through the experience where you decided that you had to go more into spirituality. So what was the transition life like from like your, and okay, let's go to this. In your earliest memories, your earliest life, how would you summarize your understanding of Hinduism in your earliest memories and that context?
I should say 10 on 10. The involvement and the belief and then the inclination was 100% pure.
Okay. So yeah, so you had recognized that there's obviously a lot of different practices and different people. What about your early life? What was your, did you have experiences with other religions also?
No, except reading and few friends and conversations and then going to church couple of times. I don't have deeper association with other religions. But I told you I'm a digital marketer. Okay, so I'm on lots of groups in Facebook and WhatsApp. So I spend time to read threads. Right now, I understand what is other religions psych now, what they're trying to do. Because I told you, right, I am exposed because of I have Venus in my chart. Right, Venus is headed by Shukracharya, Rakshasa. So I understand the Rakshasa mindsets in the world. right?
Mm.
So, I mean, if the intent is pure, I grasp. If the intent is stupid, wrong, I understand. And I see a lot of that. And when I see that, I get annoyed, actually. I get annoyed. Now, I cannot behave like them. If they are mocking Hinduism or Hindu practices or whatever is happening, if they mock, I am not somebody who would just, give it a easy go. Neither I'm not a person who will go and fight and kill them. I'm not of that mindset. But I try to intellectually, make them understand. And I go into large groups on Facebook where there are 1,000, like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people. And I go and comment there. To write the comment, I take time. I draft my comment properly. And without subduing any religion, if somebody is mocking my religion, I go there and I give a proper comment. And I put the comment in such a way that the person who is behind that post, who has bad intent about my religion, right? When they read that, at least, I know I'll not be able to change him, but I will be able to gain some soft corner within that person. Because that's the starting point, right? We cannot change people in a conversation. We cannot change people with a message, right? So somebody is mocking because he has been fed with that information. Now he has been fed all his life. I cannot go and change with my one comment, isn't it? So I need to gain a positive space. I need to first calm him down, right? I am not asking anybody to, disrespect their religion. Everybody should respect their religion, but at the same time, let none poke other religions, right? And then, let people pursue religion happily, and choice will let them not have any guilt. So yeah, that's what I'm doing nowadays. I go into luckily, incidentally, I'm observing none came back to me with my comments. None came back to me fighting with me. None, not even single. I go into groups with 100,000 people, 200,000 people, right? I put a comment, and then I don't see other people coming back. The reason is I'm sensible. I don't undermine, subdue other religions, right? I try to, what point they picked, I try to present that point in a way they can understand with some logic. One example is, there was a discussion on idol worship. Okay. Big discussion was going on, fighting. They are abusing, these people are abusing, right? I have seen it for a while. And then if I go there, I'll be abused, I know, but I cannot keep quiet, right? So I took the opportunity to tell them, look, let's hold the chat for a while. Answer my question. You have your father's picture with you. Your father's picture. Okay. Now, somebody, not your father, some ex-person's father's picture is there. Somebody is trying to tear it or spit on it or put in dustbin. How will you feel? You will feel bad, right? But that picture is not your father or not that person's father. You are getting enraged. You understand? Now, coming to Hinduism, most temples are on hills, mountains, on top, right? There were many people then, and there was no CCTV, there was no, computers, nothing, right? Now, for many people to understand and have the fear of some superior power, and for them to be ethical in the way they wanted, superlatives, a goddess is 10 hands, superlative, right? If they say God is up, people might not understand. So these objectifications are purposes to actually make people understand. Now, next question. Okay, you have objectified an entity. Perfect. Now, how is my connection with that objectified entity correct? Is the question I asked. The question is, your mother is mother to you. Your mother is sister to somebody. Your mother is neighbor to somebody. Your mother is daughter to somebody. You understand? Same logic you apply, right? Now, 33 lakh gods which are there in Hinduism are nothing but, the appeal to kind of objectifying the Mahadev in the way people would quickly resonate. And that's the path which will finally lead into the actual track. And lastly, I tell, no. Oh, you have to pray only God as per what my book says. Only that way is right. Okay, wait, one question. You are eating food with spoon, you are eating food with hands, you are eating food with your mouth, somebody is putting food in your mouth. Ultimately, food has to go into your mouth. Okay, it's not with spoon or fingers or somebody throwing food into your mouth. Do you accept this logic? Yes. So when you're accepting this logic, I'm sure God won't have any restriction on how you try to reach him, or how you try to engage him, or how you try to be in sync with him. I'm telling you examples, Sri. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you have experienced some or a lot of the different perspectives and some of the criticisms against Hinduism, and some of the attitudes of Hindumisia. In your early life, then, when you were exposed to so many different aspects of Hinduism, and to a lesser extent other religions, in your early life, what was your experiences or perspective of yourself, in terms of Hindumisia? Did you experience any resistance, any discrimination, any bigotry, any insults, any conflict in your early life?
No, never.
Hmm.
Never. And frankly, directly, I have never experienced anything directly. But I'm more informed. I can read beyond what I can see to some extent. I can read beyond, what's in the words. And when I read the intent, when I grasp the intent, I feel like I should react. But I should react in a intellectual way. I should react in a elegant way. I should react in a human way. So the journey is on. That's why I told, right? So, somebody said, it's not the outcome, but it's the journey that you should really enjoy. Fine. It's on. And even this call we are having is because of my Facebook, right? In Facebook, how you behave, you get those ads. So day before yesterday, I have seen one ad. I responded, and I had a conversation, and today we are talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad. I know you're asking me questions, and I'm talking, and I'm giving way out to all in my mind. But frankly, I should be asking you a lot of questions to learn things from you, actually.
Yeah, that's one of the just one of the understandings about the even along the entire process of For example, how discussions happened and what is a Hindu debate, and it was just like, the context for there's the history of the Vakyartha Sadas, and that's that the perspective of Vyasa and the perspective of Shankaracharya, and that's the history of Adi Shankaracharya going around and debating with everyone, right? And but they he would it's so it comes out as then he'll engage in the spiritual discussion, and they'll have the agreement, like we'll have the discussion, and if in the end you agree with me, then you become my disciple, and if in the end I agree with you, then I'll become your disciple, right? And so he walks around the entire length and breadth in Bharat, and engaging in discussion with Buddhists and many other leaders, and he so in the end everyone ends up falling at his feet and following him. But so it's told about how is that process, and it's like, so those the gurus sit together, and from that's whatever space they're established in, that's the space they're manifesting from, and so that discussion is happening from that space. And so it comes out to whoever can sit in that space without the agitation and without the body heat that comes along, then that being will remain established in their space of samadhi or realization. And so it comes out as whoever is more deeply established in in that dharma, in that space, and maintains that, then it's the depth of the sharing of the listening space where both sides benefit. So this is one of the unique aspects of the entire process of, even if it's discussing laws or aspects of a society or the civilization, in the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, is that and even the context with which even teachers and students come together is that we'll come together in the space of sharing, that both sides will expand and grow. And so it's like a lot of times the Western education is more of a thing like, the teacher has the knowledge, the teacher knows all the stuff, and they're going to sort of fill the students with, and so anyway, so so whereas in even in the tradition of Gurukul and all that Gurukul means the home of the guru, and so the students and teacher are living together all 24 hours. So it's not like in the Western sort of side, the teacher is there for 8 hours and then they go back, and on weekends they're gone, and on holidays, extended holidays, they're gone. So it becomes more of like a job of managing those 7-8 hours to whatever extent possible, but then the rest of that individual's life, there's no relationship. So whereas like in the Gurukul, the guru has to be living it all the time, and so the students see how the guru lives all the time. And so so it's sort of it sort of exemplifies that the integrity, that how is that being living all 24 hours, right? And so that has been sort of the experience with the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, is that there's always the discussion and aspect also of like yoga and taking care of the body, right? And like you mentioned, like Brahma Muhurta, how you wake up, and doing the yoga cleansing practices, and what is the kind of food you eat. And personally, that was one of the parts that I felt was missing growing up. Was we never had a strong, there was not a relationship at all between spirituality or religion and how to treat your body. And it definitely wasn't a science, and it definitely wasn't like expanded upon, and it wasn't, even go in the churches and stuff, just very, it was mostly sort of a moral, a lot of it was like a moral discussion, and as sometimes telling stories, but a lot of it was mostly just bringing morals out of stories. And I grew up mostly as an athlete and playing sports, and we also video games, but so it was different, I'd say quite a bit different in some respects than a lot of people. But so that was some of the experiences. And but then on the spiritual side, it was very shallow. Like we didn't really go to church at all, like maybe once a year. And so there was no meditation, no yoga, no spirituality, no rituals, no discussion of that, no like prayer. Yeah. So so that's how that was. And so then, at a certain point, sort of into university, and with sort of being active as an athlete, and then studying more in the psychology, history, philosophy, and religion sides and whatnot. There was I'd study nutrition. And so it was like, okay, yeah, so this has to do with sort of taking care of the body. Or maybe like there might be sports psychology. And so it was a little bit discussion about the body. But I took a class in Buddhism in university, and there was some mention of, we were going through Diamond Sutra, which was basically a lot of what it describes. It describes like the nirvana loka, and it describes the qualities. And so basically it describes like what that loka is like, what that realm is like. And it's sort of like the trees are made, like it just goes on, and it says like the trees are made of rubies, and the river is made of diamonds, and the grass is made of gold. And then it goes to the next statement, and it says like, the trees are made of gold, and the river is made of rubies, and the grass is made of diamonds, and just goes on and on and on and on of describing, using basically various precious jewels, and interchanging the description of how everything is made of that, and so it's anyway. So then one of the scriptures mentioned bile. It mentioned bile of the body, and that always stuck with me. I just thought, what does that have to do with spirituality? Like what place does that have in Buddhism or spirituality? What does bile have to do with spirituality? And so anyway, that was something that really stuck with me, and I really wanted to make that connection, because that was always one of the issues. Is you had your teachers, your parents, maybe your friends, you had your sports coaches, and grandparents, and there would be like Plato's philosophy of the Republic, and it would be like educational philosophers, and maybe like celebrity personalities. So we had different aspects of this person is telling this part of life and this person's telling that part of life. But when if you're following someone and they're teaching you about nutrition, but then you have an issue in relationships or something, they're not able to give you a solution for that. And so that's where a lot of the conflict came to, was, that coach or that person or that personality could lead you on this path in this area, but when you had an issue in another part of life, they didn't have a solution for that. So a different type of teacher has a solution for that area, but they don't have a solution for that. So at a certain point in your life, you have to choose, and so that was where the conflict came up, is where's the integrity of everything, and so, yeah, so it was, those were some of the explorations. And so through just learning and having initiations and experiences of the even like the initiation sciences of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, that going through this spiritual initiation process, this is the growth that's going to happen, this is the experience you're going to happen, and then having that happen, and just like even studying through Bhagavad Gita, had that experience, like someone knows way more about me than I will ever know. And that was around 2008. That was after 6 years in university of studying and looking for the purposes of things, and to finally encounter some being, that there was a book that could tell so much about myself, and if you do this meditation, you'll have this experience. And it described all aspects of life, whether eating, sleeping, education, married life, and societal life, and everything. And I just thought, like, who is this? Where does it come from? There's references that this is a civilization that's been going on since time immemorial, and that all the gurus from that civilization also are understanding, experiencing, and explaining the same things. So I just thought, this massive civilization been going on for so long, where did it, what is it? I need to know more about that. So that was the thing, is right from the Western side is that experience and knowledge and ecosystem is like totally not there. So anyway, yeah, so that's been, part of that experience of sharing is, and the Vatka Saras is that opportunity that even the Hindu think tank is, doesn't have to be like you're saying, like when you engage with people who are having doubts about Hinduism or the practices, it's trying to find a soft spot. So how do we connect with those people without, insulting them, for example? And so that is some of the context of the even the Hindu think tank or the Hindu debate. It's not like that, it's not about proving this point or having the logic supersede, like you had mentioned earlier, that part of the goal of life is to subdue the logic to a certain point where it's actually not limiting us. And so one of the concepts in the Vakata Saras, or the Hindu think tank, the Hindu debate, is like the members come together, and in that space of deeper listening into the truths, and basically melting down into the truth and becoming more at one with those, through the listening into the spiritual truths, that truth becomes revealed, and it reveals itself as a not just logical, but as a it reveals itself as a truth. So anyway, that was that's been a lot of the experience, like you're saying, with how to interact with people. And uh, is will I come to a conclusion? I don't know.
No, Sri here, I would like to just share a few things, right? I felt it's important to share this thought because I interact with wide varieties of people. Okay. And they all want to act immediately and get the result. Like they want to, they want to act as if they're fixing, an issue. It doesn't work like that. See, unless there is a clarity within me or whomever I want to interact, no system will work, no process will work. So the effort should be to bring clarity within Hindus first. If the clarity comes, the number is not small, it's huge, right? And it will become automatically, it will become a force. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, exactly. That we call as Icha Shakti.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what the understanding is. The clarity is enough to manifest that as a reality.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask was, you said you went through a transformation, say, from like the age of 15 to 25, where you're changing what you're doing and experiencing. Is there anything else you'd want to share about that process? How your understanding of yourself or Hinduism or Hindumesia evolved?
See, actually, I feel fortunate because after 16, 17, my father never imposed anything upon me. He created an ecosystem and I got some insights when I was young. Then I'm a free bird, right? I was given choice to experiment whatever I want. I even thank the God, Mahadev and manifestation for giving me that. So, in this free flow of life, I am what I am, but I always subdue my thought, underplay. I underplay because I am exposed to best of the best people in this world. Oh, I am very common man. I am very normal man. If I talk this, what people might think. If I tell this, what people might think. There are many great people. They are doing great job. You understand? This underplaying has come into my life because of the spirituality. Spirituality says, don't tell. A flower will not tell about itself. A flower will never tell people, come to me, I'm so good. People will go to flower. So when you become genuine, authentic, trustworthy, and valuable, right? Whole world will come to you. Is something which is sitting in my head. That's why I always underplay. And underplaying, I feel, has dented my growth. And also, what I am capable of, I could not do because I underplay. So when you say, look, this is how things should happen. Oh yeah, okay. Let us do your way. Is what I do. But I feel that probably that was not correct. Not fully correct.
Okay, great. So yeah, great. Is there anything else you'd want to express about, the experiences through that time or to now, about your understanding and interactions with Hinduism, Indonesia, or any other
No,
aspect like that?
actually, I was stepping up, as a coach, I was stepping up my efforts. And whenever I speak with people in large groups, like, my webinars will consist of 500, 600 people from across India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh sometimes. So they know that they are speaking to Hindu, right? So I would always reflect in a way that my behavior, my etiquettes will bring value to my religion, right? And I'm stepping up my efforts in 2022 to reach more people with my life coaching. And that's where now this interaction happened. So I'm trying to understand why this interaction happened, why this connection happened, what is the purpose of this. I'm curious, and at the same time I'm open also. You understand my point? Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. So yeah, okay, well that is yeah, that's one of the big opportunities, right? Especially with whether we look at the kind of, especially now, right, with the changes in the past couple of years, and whether you look at youth depression or diabetes or the familial situations or crime or damaging of the environment or youth suicide, violent conflict, etc., political exploitation, depression, medication. Humanity is facing a lot of issues, and so it's sort of a question of like, where are possible solutions, and are there any proven civilizational solutions? And if there are, where are people getting them from? Then if there aren't, what are people following and where are they getting stuck? And so yeah, so that is sort of one of the understandings is what are the proven solutions, not only on an individual level, because obviously people need individual solutions, but on a civilizational level also. And how can the individual solutions also, from that microcosmic perspective, be expanded to a macrocosmic perspective and also applied to an entire civilization, for example, like through the Varnashrama Dharma. So that is essentially, looking at the space of humanity and what is the situation and how are they progressing forward, what is needed, and what are the unique contributions of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and how that can be delivered to people. So yeah, that's been that's one of the given Sanatana Hindu Dharma is the only remaining ancient civilization that's still lived as it was, and so there's a reason that it survived, although it's obviously facing a lot of challenges. It's also proven to have solutions on on all levels, even for issues humanity's facing, pandemic, financial distress, community breakdown, global warming, and relationship issues, and sustainability. So all of these issues have been addressed for many tens of thousands of years through the ancient Enlightenment Hindu ecosystem, and so they're proven solutions. That's the thing, it's already been demonstrated. It's been demonstrated on the individual level. It's been sourced through revealed books and scriptures. It's been lived by enlightened gurus, and it's been passed on through generations. And ways of dealing with pandemic, dealing with emotional dealing with societal, political, even the divisions of Varnashrama Dharma, to make sure that the power structure, whether it be, land, weapons, knowledge, or money, is divided among society to avoid exploitation of one group over another. So that's the thing, right? The ancient civilization, the enlightenment-based civilization of Sanatana Dharma has already demonstrated solutions. Right? It's already demonstrated solutions, and it all comes from Vedas Agamas. It's written down, specific, minute detail. As I'm sure you have your own experience of, exactly, what are the rituals have to be performed when you're constructing a building, what direction you face when you conduct a puja. So that's what this is all documented, and it's all available, and it's an experience that can be given to anyone. It's a proven civilization on not only individual level for any kind of individual, whether you're any of the born into any of the jatis or participating through any of the varnas. It's a uniquely proven solution for every individual on a civilizational scale. So that's the thing. It's, for the humanity, it's not optional. It's not optional that, each individual find a solution to their life, right? And it's not optional that civilizations find a way to live without killing each other. Like, in a sense, that's never been an option. But now, going through 2 years of change, of people being restricted in their relationships and their, perceived freedoms of, travel or participating in certain events, that heaviness of how to deal with me is, it's really wearing on people. So that's one of the things that we've been looking to do is, find ways, and it has been going on through doing a lot of online outreach, to be able to, for example, run Zoom rooms for 12 hours a day in various time zones. So covering between like 4 and 6 time zones around the world, where where people can learn, eating habits, relationship solutions, yoga, meditation, and participate in pujas, and get individual counseling, learn meditation, all those kind of things. So those are some of the sort of goals, and basically the civilization of Sanatana Hindu Dharma has been based on a contribution based model, so that's one of the things was, is inspiring people to be able to see how they can contribute. A lot of people obviously feel like, maybe their time or their energy is not enough, or their knowledge or experience is not enough to be able to contribute to the lives of others. So that's been one of the things, is just opening people up to see how they can contribute, how they can be part of a community, how they can benefit, especially online, because because obviously there's something like 4 billion people online, and so it's the world's largest city, right? As I'm sure obviously. So that's been one of the things, is to, through various forms of outreach and projects and engagements, is to continue to see how to cause a reality that others want to achieve. So that's been the possibility for living that life is from a contribution based perspective. In each person that I come into contact with, how can I cause the reality that they want to achieve? Right? So that's one of the things we've been doing, is just reaching out and building relationships and finding out where people are, what they're involved in, what they're trying to achieve, and look for ways that, from a mutual standpoint, how we can contribute to what it is that they are, that they are working towards. So, so I appreciate you taking time today, and appreciate you sharing a lot of your background and your understandings and your experiences. I know you have been involved in a lot of different things, and I hope that we can continue to find ways to reach your efforts to more people, and continue to experience your contribution. And so I appreciate you joining today. We're looking forward to engaging in different formats, different online sharings and panel discussions and whatnot. So I appreciate you sharing your experience and background today. It's always good for Hindus. One of the things is, a lot of times, the innocence, obviously, as you know, the innocent sharing reaches more people sometimes than necessarily, intellectual data. Of course, everything has its own space. And so I appreciate you joining today. It's always good for people to see one more perspective of how someone who has a Hindu background and is living a spiritual life, and supporting and enriching people, what their understandings is, where they came from, and how they view, what they're doing. So I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today. And if there's anything else you'd like to share, please go ahead.
No, Sri, I should, rather thank you very much for, this interaction today. I see, this outcome of this interaction to be definitely very unique, because, this is 2-hour long conversation. Okay. And with a person such as you, who is, kind of well, exposed and well informed about things. So I should say, frankly, nobody asked me in my life for 2 hours as to my journey, my life with my religion. Probably I was interviewed for jobs for 1 hour. So I consider this as a very important interaction, right? And I know there is some bigger purpose behind this, important step. Okay, I thank you for your time today and for this interaction. And I look forward for insights and pointers from people who introduced me to you people. And I look forward to kind of align with you, work with you for the bigger purpose of the essence of Hinduism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us again today, and I really appreciate it. And we'll just complete this session chanting a mantra, okay?
Sure.
So everyone who's out there, you can close your eyes. You can do this as a simple meditation anytime. Just close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breathing. Breathe as slowly and deeply as you can. And just connect with a deep sense of gratitude for whatever you have gratitude for. It could be a teacher, a family member, a guru, God. And with that deep sense of gratitude, we inhale deeply and chant loudly. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Parukar Purnamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Vishwanath ji, for sharing everything. We really appreciate it. And we hope we can connect with you again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.